Let's take you back to our developing story unfolding in KwaZulu-Natal at this hour. A raid at two major companies in Durban is currently underway. The purpose of this visit, we're told, is to address concerns raised by intelligence reports regarding the employment of undocumented immigrants. Watching the situation for us is SABC News reporter Simphiwe Makhanya, who joins us now live from Durban. And Simphiwe, I can see a lot of men in blue behind you there. Clear signs that this raid is well underway.
Indeed, Ayanda. In fact, it's a multidisciplinary raid that is taking place here in Umbilo, which is just south of Durban. We are at one of the companies that employs quite a number of people here. I'm sure you can see just the activity that is currently happening here. You see members of the SAPS together with the Department of Labor officials who are currently conducting an inspection to ensure that the people who are working here do have the necessary papers that permit them to actually be employed. You see there that interaction between officials from the Department of Labor as well as the managers or owners of this particular shop where we are. There's quite a number of police, Ayanda, not just within the premises but also surrounding the area. The Premier, when he issued that statement yesterday, said that the Provincial Commissioner, Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, will be joining this particular raid as part of ensuring compliance and also clamping down on illegal foreign nationals, which, by the way, has been a consistent campaign that is being, run, particularly from the Department of Community Safety and Liaison in KwaZulu-Natal. The operations at this particular shop have come to a standstill. But what is perhaps important to mention at this particular point is that there is no clear indication yet as to whether the Provincial Commissioner of Police, Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, who has been making headlines really since that particular media briefing on Sunday, making serious allegations against the Police Minister Senzo Mchunu as well as senior officials within SABC. At the moment, there is no indication as to whether he will be coming here to join this particular operation that has just started. But we are informed that the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, Thamsanqa Ntuli, is on his way to this very shop where we are, where we are expecting really, Ayanda, that he will give us confirmation as to whether the Provincial Commissioner will be coming or not. Of course, we do know that the President of the Republic of South Africa, His Excellency President Cyril Matamela Ramaphosa, is going to be addressing the nation on Sunday evening, just based really on the allegations that were made by Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, to give a clearer indication as to what is going to be the way forward with regards to those particular allegations that were made by Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. The word that we are getting at the moment, Ayanda, if I can just spotting a few vehicles entering the premises now, is that the Premier is on his way to this shop where we are. In fact, I'm going to ask my colleague Raymond Mbele to step outside with me to try and see if the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal has arrived at this particular location where we are. And in fact, I can see his vehicles arriving here. I'm going to try and see if I can get a word from the Premier just as he's stepping out of the vehicle. And I'm going to ask my colleague Raymond Mbele to walk with me as we, of course, wait for the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, who is expected to sort of lead these operations that are currently happening at this shop here in Umbilo, which is south of Durban. The Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, and I might add that he has been on a rigorous campaign to try and ensure, that the department that he leads, which is Community Safety and Liaison, clamps down on illegal foreign nationals. You see there the Premier walking out of his vehicle. We are going to try and steal the Premier as soon as he's been able to where his reflector jackets there, you see a bit of movement there. The Premier of KwaZulu-Natal arriving at this particular location. I'm going to try and steal a word from you, Premier. Thank you so much for your time. Good morning. You are live on SABC News, Premier. Tell us about this operation first and foremost. What have you been able to uncover here?
Well, from the whistleblower that we are working with now to locate the illegal activities taking place in the province, in particular the issue of the undocumented foreign nationals and even the issue of the illicit goods, then we learned that here there are undocumented foreign nationals, of which we have made a call even to the business leaders in the province that they must stop hiring the undocumented foreign nationals or illegal foreign nationals, because it affects the economy of the province and the country at large, and it deprives the people of South Africa an opportunity of getting job opportunities. We know the biggest problem that we have of the youth, that is unemployed, almost more than 46% youth unemployed in this province. And we have business people who are making money out of the very same people, but at the very same time, they are employing undocumented foreign nationals.
Premier, we're going to get to those details shortly, but I just want to get confirmation. Is the Provincial Commissioner of Police, Simphiwe, going to be joining you at this operation?
Unfortunately, it's out of the province. Yesterday, there was a report to me that it was not going to be easy for him to find me on time, because I will be here for a couple of time and then proceed to the Economic Council. He might come but later, but he was also supposed to participate on arrival.
Let's talk about these operations, Premier. You've been running a lot of these campaigns on clamping down on illegal migrants. But the question then becomes, what happens when they have been arrested? Are these people that are here illegally deported once the process has been concluded?
Absolutely. They are deported. Even previously, when the police were complaining about the space because of the results of the operations, because we were able to capture thousands and thousands of them, I had to raise the concern with the Minister of Home Affairs. Unfortunately, there was an intervention. We were able to deport them. But for those who are discovered to be involved in crime, they are taken for prosecution. So the process, it cleans the problem of the undocumented foreign nationals and also the criminals, that they must actually go for prosecution.
Premier, Aldrin Simphiwe here from Newsroom Africa. Thank you so much for making time for us this morning. So the Provincial Police Commissioner is not here, as you've just indicated. Are you able to tell us whether he is meeting with the President, whether he has met with the President after their press briefing on Sunday?
Well, I'm not aware. He has not indicated to me whether they have met. But in my understanding, it's important for the President of the Republic to get the full briefing on the issues that were raised by the Provincial Commissioner.
Yep. When the Provincial Police Commissioner briefed you on this matter, what did he tell you? And according to his explanation, does it amount at all to political interference in investigations?
I think it's crime in general, because it's all about crime. We know that we have a problem of the political killings in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, and then the task team that was supposed to assist in fighting the problem of political killings. In fact, the intervention which was made seek to deprive an opportunity the people of KwaZulu-Natal to know the truth, in fact, to even end this problem of the political killings.
Yeah. But does it amount to political interference in investigations?
Well, I will not at this stage confirm that there is any political interference, except for what the Provincial Commissioner shared with the public, the role of the executive authority.
Following these revelations, Premier, just as the provincial government, your stance with regards to the work that has been done by the Provincial Commissioner, are you in full support of what he did on Sunday?
Well, the Provincial Commissioner at all the times will brief us about crime in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, and that was no exception, because in fact, irregardless of who is involved in crime, police will always brief the public on what is taking place, and we have full confidence over the police and even over his leadership in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, and the braveness, in fact, to speak to the issues which seems to be, in fact, quite issues which seem not to be easy.
The president has his announcement that he's going to be making on Sunday at 7 p.m. Firstly, as the head of government in this province, what would you like to hear? But secondly, as somebody who comes from the IFP that have also been victims of political killings, what would you like to see go forward?
Well, we want to see the problem of political killings being dealt with once and for all, especially the orchestrators and the perpetrators to be brought on book. That's point number one. Well, with regard to the expectation and what the president may say, we have full confidence on the president of the republic, and we'll be looking forward to hear the direction and the guidance, because it itself would had, in fact, a privilege of understanding better than all of us, and then the appropriate decision, in fact, that the president will make. I think it will be a decision to support.
What sort of investigation?
I mean, the president will have received an investigation, because investigations are done by the police.
I'm asking now that if the president has met these various stakeholders, what sort of investigation, if there was an investigation to be announced, would you like to see as a politician as well?
Well, I think to dip deeper on who else may be involved on the problems that, in fact, are confronting our continue to trust the police. I have no doubt. I trust the police. I believe in the police. You see them here. They are all over to fight with us as government to try and ensure that all illegal things are removed, all criminal elements are dealt with.
Just Premier, on the sidelines of this, of course, we know the recent developments taking place in the province where some illegal or undocumented foreign nationals are being refused entry into public healthcare facilities.
The leadership that is providing in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, which has made even the citizen of the province to have confidence on the police. You know that people had lost confidence on the work of the police, but now the way they are now cooperating with the police, the way they are reporting whenever there are criminal activities taking place, is evidence that his leadership is a wonderful leadership.
How's he doing? When last did you speak to him?
Well, we had a sit-down conversation with him last week. He's fine. We are in constant communication as the provincial commissioner. I think you'll know that the Department of Community Safety and Liaising is in the office of the Premier. So we're in constant conversation. But on a sit-down, it was last week, but even yesterday we were communicating.
All right. I know that Ayanda, we may have lost comms with you, but that's the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, the Premier Thamsanqa Ntuli, speaking to members of the media at this factory where the police as well as the Department of Labour have conducted a multidisciplinary raid, really clamping down on illegal foreign nationals that have been employed in some of these factories around the Durban CBD. Of course, they're giving some clarity about the issue of the Provincial Commissioner, Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. We do know that he was meant to be part of this particular raid where we are, but the word coming through from the Premier is that Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi is out of the province as he is engaging on the recent sort of statement that he made on Sunday, where he implicated the police minister as well as some senior officials within SABC on a wide range of what he termed criminal syndicates. That's the situation that is unfolding here at the moment. In terms of the stats and figures with regards to this operation, no stats have been issued in terms of the arrest, but of course the operation does continue, Ayanda.
is part of our reporter, or is part of our team, I beg your pardon, live to us there from Durban during this ongoing raid at one of those wholesale shops there. As soon as there's any other major development, Simphiwe, we'll certainly take you back there live. This is, of course, an attempt to try and push back against the hiring of undocumented migrants in and around the city. A problem, by the way, certainly not unique to KwaZulu-Natal only, but naturally the Premier there also being confronted with a barrage of questions around Nhlanhla Mkhonazi's bombshell briefing. Once again, the President expected to speak about that on Sunday.